Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Gabe with Indigo Software, genuine Microsoft software for less. So in today's video, we're going to walk you through a beginner's guide to Windows 11. So we're going to be covering some of the basic functionality and navigation of this operating system. If you want to see a more in-depth tutorial, let us know in the comments below. Now, if you're thinking about purchasing your own copy of Windows 11 or other similar products, check out Indigo Software, all links in the description below. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first thing that we see when we boot up our computer is what's called the lock screen. And this is just going to show you the date and time and some very basic information such as your battery life. And we're going to click to enter. And now we'll be met with the user profiles. So if this is your first time booting up your computer, you'll have to create a profile, or if you already have one, you'll just click sign in. And if it's password protected, you'll have to enter your password right there. Now we're just going to let it load into the computer. So we're now in the computer, and this is what's called the desktop. So usually the desktop will only have this recycle bin right here. It may also have the Microsoft Edge browser, but this is where you can store some of your files. This is kind of like your home screen. And at the bottom here, this is new to Windows 11, we have a dock. The dock is where you're going to keep your most commonly used applications, as well as your File Explorer and the Windows button, which is kind of like your main navigation tool. So we're going to click on this and explore this a little bit. So the first thing you see is a search bar. This is going to be super helpful if you're not really familiar with a Windows system. You can search for anything that's on your computer if you're not entirely sure where it is. And right below that, we have pinned applications. This is another area where you can keep your most common applications or softwares. So we've got settings, photos, Edge, Microsoft Store, and things like that. Now, if you go to open an application or a file, you're going to have some options with that. So if I right click on this, I'm going to have some different options as to what I want to do. And if I go over to my desktop and I right click on, let's say, this folder, again, you're going to see different options that would let you change or edit this folder right here. And if I just right click onto the home screen without hovering over anything, we'll have some options for this as well. Display settings, personalize, open in terminal, and we'll walk through some of this a little bit later on. So one thing to note about the dock is that the Windows icon is always going to be here. Can't remove it, can't uninstall it. So we're going to go back into the Windows button right here. And towards the bottom, you'll have a little recommended section. And then right here, we're going to have some power options, and we're going to have some user options. So if I click power, this gives you the option to sleep, shut down, or restart. And at the bottom left, you have some user information right here. You can sign out or enter settings through that. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up an application and walk through some of the features and navigation that you find there. So we're going to open Microsoft Edge. This is the browser. And in the very top right, there's a couple different tools right here. I can minimize, which basically completely hides the application. So you can have multiple things running, return to this later just by clicking the application. And there's also this little button here, which if you just hover over it, gives you some different layout options that you might want if you're working on two things simultaneously. Or if I just simply click it, it's going to take it out of full screen. And from here, I could drag the sides or the corners to reshape the size of this little window. And if I click it again, it'll return back into full screen. Now, if I click the X, it's going to close out of the application, and I'm no longer running this. Now, if you're not sure whether you're running an application or not, we're simply just going to look down here in the dock, and anything with a blue line under it is running, and anything without a blue line under it is not running. And if we take a look to our bottom right, we've got a couple more options here. So we've got some hidden icons. This is going to be security in Microsoft Teams in my case. And here we have some network options, audio, and battery life. If you click on any of these icons, it will pull up some more features. So in the case of this battery, we have battery saver, airplane mode, focus assist, we've got sound as well, and a couple of other things. And lastly, we've got a little calendar right here. If we click on the time and date right here, we have a calendar and notifications that will come up. Now let's say I want to multitask and run two different applications side by side. So I'm going to open up the Microsoft Store, and we'll enter full screen, and then I'm going to hover over this little icon. I'm going to select this one right here. And now, as you can see, when I hover over this, it gives me the option to split these two windows. So I'll just click into this. And now I can work from either one of these windows, kind of like having two different monitors. And if you want one side to be bigger than the other, we're just going to hover our mouse in between them, and we can drag to adjust this. And speaking of the Microsoft Store, this is definitely an application you might want to explore. This is a very easy way to get native and other applications installed to your computer, simply just by browsing or searching apps, games, movies, and other things like that. So we're going to close out of these windows, and I'm going to open up File Explorer. Now this is super handy to navigate through all of your different files and storage on your computer. So you have things like desktop, downloads, documents, and these are all going to be default folders that come preloaded with your computer. So it's really helpful to just kind of get familiar with this. Downloads and documents, stuff that you added recently to your computer, it's all going to be easy to find by looking through these files. If you ever run into a problem where you have an application crashing on you, you can simply just open it again. And if you're still having a problem, then restarting your computer is your next best bet. And the last thing we're going to go through in this video is a little bit of customization and settings. So we're going to go back to our Windows button, and we're going to click Settings. And we're just going to customize our computer a little bit. So if I enter Display, I'll have some different options. We have Night Light. This will help to block the blue light if you're using your computer before bed. And we have HDR mode, a couple of other things like that. Next we have Bluetooth and devices. This is going to be your home point for all of your different connected devices, such as your mouse, keyboard, or other things like that. You can find that all in the Bluetooth and devices tab. And going down another one, we have network and internet. So Ethernet or Wi-Fi, whichever one you're using, all of that's going to be managed right here. And under personalization, we can change our home screen's picture. So if I click into this, we'll have a few different options here. If you downloaded a picture, you can right click on that and you'll have the option to set that as your background picture. But if I just click into any of these, you can see that on my desktop now, and so that's an easy way to do that. These are going to be some different settings for your apps. So go ahead and look through this and see if there's anything you want to change here. And finally, under account, I would definitely recommend going through this and personalizing everything. You can get all of your email, calendar, contacts, everything like that set up. And you can edit your sign-in options. Add or remove users, do all of that from right here. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys found it helpful, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you wanna see more helpful videos like this. Again, if you wanna pick up Windows 11, Windows 10, or other Microsoft software, check out Indigo software, all the links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.